Good evening and welcome to a brand new episode of Bahrain Now. I'm Bara Abdallah. We have a lot of achievements and awards going on this episode, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. So our upcoming guest is an award-winning local system engineer who has proved to everybody that dreams are not so hard to catch. So let's check out this following report for more.
Tasneem Youssef, a dedicated and passionate learner who is a great example on how thriving behind your goals and dreams can bring you great success. A system engineering at the Benefit Company and an electronic engineering research who has graduated from the University of Bahrain with excellence. Adding to her many achievements, Tasneem has been awarded to be one of University of Nottingham's scholars by achieving Development Solutions Master's Scholarship to acquire a master's degree in electronics and computer engineering. Her master's project focused mainly on DSP, communication, and reconfigurable computing using FPGA. In regards of her experience in system engineering, Tasneem holds a patent for her invention RoboDem, winning her several local and international awards, as well as a member and the chair member of Bahrain Young Professionals Affinity Group.
Joining us in the studio is Tasneem Youssef, the Senior System Engineer at the Benefit Company in Bahrain, to talk to us more about her thesis, invention, and achievements. Good evening. How are you?
Hi, good evening. Thanks for having me today.
Pleasure. So tell us more about yourself.
My name is Tasneem Youssef. I'm working as a Senior System Engineer at the Benefit Company. Also, I'm working as the chairperson of IEEE Affinity Group. This society is trying to help students and young professionals to engage more with the research and industry markets in Bahrain. Also, we're trying to teach them some soft skills that are important in many workplaces, such as leadership, communication, and public speaking. Besides, also, I'm doing some voluntary work. I'm working as voluntary teacher at Salman Culture Center, where I teach kids programming language and how to deal with robotics such as VIX and Lego robotics.
Oh, robotics. So you did a lot of VIX.
Yes, yeah.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So your thesis, tell us more about that.
Well, in 2018, I achieved scholarship called Developing Solution Masters to achieve my master degree at University of Nottingham in the UK. It's really great opportunity to present Bahrain and to be one of the scholars at University of Nottingham. This scholarship is focusing on the academic merit and work experience and voluntary work, and also the number of publications. So during my master degree, of course, in the beginning I start to study some modules, and in the last semester I start to search about an idea. And for me as an engineer and a researcher, I usually try to choose an idea that can benefit the humanity and the community that we are living. So I choose an idea that related to GNSS receiver and satellite communication.
Wow.
First of all, let me explain what is GNSS.
Please
GNSS is a global navigation satellite system. So GNSS receiver has a problem. The signal of the GNSS is very weak, that can be affected with many multiple interference. And interference has multiple types, such as intentional and unintentional and multipath. So in this project, I'm focusing on continuous wave and sweeping wave interference. So I'm trying to mitigate these interference to make the GNSS receiver working in a standard like integrity and security, accuracy, to make the performance good for the GNSS receivers.
Wow. Like, for reals. Now, apparently you went a little bit too deep, the technical part.
Yeah.
And so in general, let's say for the average Bahraini, how would this benefit everybody?
Well, GNSS receiver has many different applications. It can use in marine, space, in military, in transportation. So for example, railway, I'm sure that Bahrain maybe in the future can have railway. So GNSS receiver has different operations. So it can be used for navigation, tracking, timing, so it has different applications. It's really important for humanity because without tracking, without navigation in a proper way, this can endanger humanity.
Wow.
So that's why it's important to make sure the performance of GNSS is very accurate. So I'm trying in this project to mitigate the interference that affect the GNSS receiver signals.
How long it took you to actually go that deep?
The thesis can take up to 3 months. One of the challenges I faced through this project, of course, the timing. So I finished the simulation part, and the simulation part consists of 2 parts, which is the software and hardware, but I didn't implement it on the hardware itself. So in the future plan, I'm going to implement it on the FPGA, which is the microcontroller. Yeah.
So how was the reception so far here in Bahrain? Like, how did people receive it? Like, how did people perceive the thesis so far?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's really important for not only for Bahrain, for worldwide. So after I got the second top place in the UK, and I'm in the process to make a publication for this thesis to publish it in a good journal or in a good conference.
Amazing. So in that case, what's the future?
Well, my future plan is, first of all, is to implement this simulation in FPGA and to make a real-time hardware implementation. Secondly, there is one simulation problem is I choose float point design for the FFT filter that can mitigate the interference. So this float point achieve the performance, but it make a usage of more hardware resources. So one of these future plan is try to minimize the hardware resources of the hardware implementation.
Okay, so apparently you went not only to a niche, it was like a niche of a niche when it comes to technology and satellite receptions?
Yes.
So now, in that case, where do you think will be like the best place to actually implement all the technologies you've been talking about?
Well, this project can be implemented hopefully in Bahrain locally, and maybe in the Middle East, and of course worldwide, because one of my future plan is to do PhD also in the future. And I really studying abroad is not only about getting the degree. It was really a good experience because you learn different skills to be independent, to takes you from out of the comfort zone. And also part of my job, I'm trying to implement these things because I learned different programming language, whereas it's in software and hardware. Also, I'm trying to teach the students these kind of new skills.
Amazing. So in that case, what do you recommend us? Like for anybody who is entering this scene or this industry, how should they start? What's your advice?
As everyone noticed that we have now a pandemic, and the computing fields and the IT help people to go from manual to digital and electronic way. So I recommend the students to study computing and IT fields. Especially, it's really important now. It opens different work opportunities, and especially for female, because usually they are afraid about not getting a job, or it will be difficult studying. So I would like to advise students to go ahead, and if they have an idea, especially if you have electronic idea or idea in computing, just to try to make a workflow about this idea, and try to build it not only in a study degree, but maybe in your own way.
Well, thank you very much. Great advice right there. So thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Pleasure. So everything is possible if you work hard enough for it. More coming up right here on Bahrain Now. On Thursday, the 12th of November 2020, the winners of King Hamad Prizes for Agricultural Development's third session were announced, and to congratulate them, we welcome two of them tonight. Hello, Dr. Abdulaziz and Dr. Abdelhadi. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Great. So, how do you feel about winning these prizes?
I feel great, actually.
Amazing. I can see it in your
Yes.
smile.
Yes, I feel great because you think all the efforts that I have been exerting for 4 years have finally come to be acknowledged and to win this really high prize from His Excellency and the Highness King Hamad.
Beautiful.
It's really an honor for me and for my university and my team.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yes.
Engineer Abdulaziz, how do you feel?
I feel very happy. It gives us a sense of accomplishment and achievement that's going to drive us forward in the future to produce more and better in this field.
Beautiful. So now talking about the winning prizes. So you won the Agricultural Studies and Research. Tell us
Yes.
more about that from your point of view.
Yes, actually this, to have an outstanding research project, you have to have a plan, and the plan has to address real problems that can really have impact. When your research solves a problem, you definitely have an impact. So for me, we have already prioritized our research agenda since the year 2015.
Wow.
When I was the Vice Dean for the Technological Studies. We had a symposium, of course, with the Bahrain Initiative for Agricultural Development, Her Highness Excellency Sheikh Muram. And during that workshop or symposium, we came to discuss all the problems in the agricultural sector with the farmers, the decision makers, and the researchers from the universities. So from that agenda and from our strategy in the university, that we have certain priorities for the Gulf countries, not only Bahrain,
Beautiful.
for example. But for me here to do something with impact for Bahrain, I decided to choose the date palm. As
Okay.
you know, date palm is a very important food crop, and it is everywhere, and Bahrain has to have about 1 million
Right.
tree before. So we need to bring it back, and my work with the farmers as one of the committees in the Farmer Best Prize
Okay.
really give me more experience on what is going on in the field, and
Beautiful.
then I selected this challenge, and I tested one new product that is produced by a Japanese company,
Okay.
which is livolinic acid. It is an acid actually produced in the human body, but in a small amount.
Okay.
So when you add this small amount of the acid to the irrigation water, it helps improve the irrigation water use efficiency of the date palm.
Oh, wow.
So that's that research actually took about 4 years to
I
come
can only
to
imagine.
see the to see the light, because date palm is very slow grower, you know. So this is a general story. Of course, I have my team, and they were dedicated. But I remember when I was working in the middle of the day, and it was the fasting time in
Oh, man.
June
It's a lot of challenge.
June 2018. That
Wow.
time I was fasting, and but I was really enjoying my work.
It seems like it. I mean,
Yes,
definitely. So now, as you're done with the research, is there like a follow-up to it, or you're done with it now?
I think you never just stop a research idea, especially when it comes with good results. So you can follow up with different management scenarios,
Okay.
and of course you can have feedback from the farmers also. That will allow you to tailor the research more, fine-tune the research problem, and might also come up with new discoveries or new management
Right.
practices for the irrigation management. Yes.
Would you be interested in another topic than the one you're right now, let's say, specialized in?
Yes, I'm now doing another big project with
Okay.
trying to produce quinoa in Bahrain.
Oh, quinoa.
Yes.
Yeah, they're expensive, by the way. Really
Yes,
expensive.
they are expensive, and now people are aware of the benefits. It has 8 amino acids that the
Yes.
human being needs, and it doesn't have the gluten that some people are allergic to in bread, normal
Right.
bread. And it has most of the proteins and carbohydrates and some of the vitamins. It's really rich with minerals,
Yeah.
and it has really high nutritional value to the extent that NASA announced it as one of the best crops for extraterrestrial journeys. Yes.
Amazing. I mean, because
Yes.
I would love to have quinoa, but the thing is, I
Yes.
go there, it hurts the budget. So do you
Yes.
think quinoa can be actually a thing for Bahrain? I mean, do you think this can be a possibility?
It is not impossible actually, because I done 1 year and I tried to produce it without soil in the
Okay.
greenhouse, and I tried it also to examine how much water it requires
Okay.
in lysimeters. That's a small box with control, water in, water out. Everything is calculated, so you know how much it will take. So first year it was really promising, and I could tell you that my productivity was really very high.
Amazing.
And now we are doing the second year, and I have a PhD student from Kuwait also doing this.
Okay, I'll be your first and biggest fan and customer. once
Oh,
that is out
you
there.
are welcome.
Definitely.
Definitely, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, thank you.
So, Engineer Abdulaziz, you won the prize for the agricultural projects. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, we won the prize for the best agricultural production project. We have a project that focuses on producing organic vegetables here in Bahrain
Amazing.
without soil. We use a system that's called aquaponics that incorporates aquaculture and hydroponics, which is basically the method of farming fish and growing vegetables in water without soil.
Wow.
So we integrate both of the systems in one, and the result is basically very good quality organic produce. We use no artificial fertilizers or pesticides, so the system is 100% organic. The vegetables coming out of that system definitely taste much better. They do have their natural smell, which we nowadays lack, given the amount of artificial fertilizer we use, and the pesticides also we use in commercial production. We started the company back in 2014 by doing research and trials and analysis. In February 2019, 6 years later, we launched our commercial project, and this is phase 1 of our project, and puts Bahrain as the biggest aquaponics in the world.
Beautiful.
Maybe right up there.
Okay.
Next year, we're also expanding for the second phase, which will be definitely the biggest aquaponics in the world without a contestant. For us,
amazing.
it's a great achievement that puts Bahrain on the map for food security and new
Definitely.
technologies in food production.
Beautiful. So that's a game changer.
Definitely it is. There is lots of research and science that goes into it. It's not the traditional kind of agriculture where you just put a seed, wait for the rain to grow. There is hard work, dedication, science, everyday monitoring, analysis, lab, engineers working on the production of crops.
Okay.
And doing that in Bahrain definitely comes with its own set of challenges, such as scarcity of water, scarcity of agricultural land as well, challenge of the Bahrain summer, the weather, definitely the biggest. Trying to combat all those challenges is not an easy task, but we have managed to finish the project, and it's been successful. We started our commercial production. The product is out there in the market. We got a great feedback from the customers, and looking forward for the futures and the challenges that are ahead of us coming on.
Amazing, amazing. So now, when you go to our markets, we see that we have fruits and vegetables from different countries around the world, even from Spain, from the States, avocados, oranges, that kind of stuff. So do you think with your researches right now, this market can actually change in like soon enough, like in the next few months, few years? What is your expectations?
It definitely has changed already because
Okay.
in our case, the products we are growing in our facility, they're not products that usually grown here in Bahrain. It's usually an imported product. So we're not competing with a local product. We're competing with imported product at the same level and quality that usually we expect.
Okay.
And it's no less from a premium product that can be sold around the world with the same quality. We in our project we are in the process of getting our organic certification that's recognized globally as an EU standard. In addition to all the necessary other certifications and ISO certification, all of those are certifications that are in the process and takes years to actually obtain those certifications, such as the organic certification. It's a process of 2 years just to get the certification, make sure there is no residual of pesticides within 2 years of production in the facility.
Oh, wow. So now one of the products that a lot of people are like going after and they see that it's kind of expensive and it's not easy to get, for people right now who are going vegans or organic, quinoa, avocados, and kale.
Yes.
So it's always hard to get kale. Will we see that in the future in our markets?
Kale is... Sorry.
Sorry.
Apparently it's a very hot topic, huh?
Yes.
We just kaled it,
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to be, now agricultural production is not, as he said, the traditional one. Part of dirty job, you go to the soil, become, get dirty, I mean. Agriculture now is a smart business. And you have to compete with the market. Either you have to produce top quality,
Okay.
and you ask for higher prices where it can pay your costs,
Right.
or you reduce your cost of production and compete with the other local production.
Oh, wow. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, so that's what is I can see here. Bahraini farmers are really, they have good awareness, and they manage to do this through the years when since I came here. There is a big change now. Most of the farmers now are turning into protected agriculture.
Okay.
They are using less electricity. They
Wow.
are trying to
Beautiful.
improve using solar also, solar power, at least for lighting during the night time.
The least to be, right?
Yes, yes, and they are a little bit modifying the greenhouse. They are making it more higher and without artificial ventilation. They are using natural ventilation. So all these they are reducing their costs in order to compete with the products that are coming from we are having the free market.
Right.
So in order to prevail, you have to either to reduce your cost of production, or you go for organic and higher prices.
Wow.
But it is a very delicate balance between your cost of production and the revenue you are going to get.
It seems like customers are getting even smarter with their choices, I guess, from what you're seeing, Engineer Abdulaziz?
Definitely, and we are seeing some trends when it comes to certain types of vegetables that the customers would like to have. In our case, when it comes to vegan and the trends we see in the market, kale is definitely one of the products we see demand on. We have three types of kale in our line of products, 2 traditional types and one a product we recently introduced that is a new type of kale. It's basically a baby type of kale, which comes in a very small form, more nutritious, more tasty as well. And the customers, they don't need to prep it, such as cutting for the salads or anything like that. They can just use it as the whole leaf baby in their salads. Wow. And that is one of the best products we are having. And it's trending in the market right now with the vegan and the healthy.
Okay, I mean, that sounds great. 3 types of kales. I just thought there was 1 type, but apparently there's more to it.
Yeah, of course, breeders and even natural mutation is always available to give you new things. God created agriculture with diversity.
Beautiful. Diversity is definitely it.
Yes.
Any last words to our viewers here in Bahrain and around the world?
I think for me, I will say to the farmer, keep up the good work. And I'll say to my colleague in the Hamad Prize committees, also keep up with the good work, because usually we change the criteria every 2 years to improve the competition. Because I know the farmers, when they know the rules, They compete and they improve. So we are taking them to another level.
Beautiful.
So keep up the good work, and to the other committee members also, I congratulate them for the hard work they exerted during the 3 levels of the prize, and to my colleagues in the university who helped me to accomplish this. They are partners with me in the project, and to the president of the university who is dedicated to support scientific research and innovation. Thank them all.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for all the amazing efforts you've done in your research and your studies.
Thank you
Much
very much.
appreciated.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity also.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Engineer Abdulaziz, any last words?
Thank you for having me and giving us the opportunity to show our work and our accomplishments here in TV Bahrain.
It's a great pleasure to have you, Dr. and Engineer Abdulaziz and Dr. Abdul Hadi. Thank you so much for being here on Bahrain Now.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
So as we have it here in the agricultural scene in Bahrain, we have amazing game changers coming up right here in the future of agriculture in Bahrain. More coming up on Bahrain Now. Utilizing online learning methods, the Applied Science University continues to support their students and equip them with the necessary resources as they traverse modern education. More on this report by Khalid Hijras.
As with many things, the pandemic has affected the dynamics of higher education, and as such, universities are doing their bit to level the playing field for their students. Now, at the Applied Science University, the staff and management are doing their bit to make sure that their students still have access to resources and can continue their education uninterrupted. Let's check it out.
The university was prepared well to conduct the online teaching without any difficulties. We had done a lot of measures across campus to ensure that there is no spread of the virus across our campus. We have installed the face recognitions and temperature check cameras. We ensure sanitization being done daily. Staff are not allowed to gather and have a meeting at the current moment. The pandemic has changed a lot of things across the world, especially the higher education sector. The student life has changed. The campus was buzzing with students earlier. Now most of our lectures are being delivered online.
Actually, ASU, I could say proudly that assisted their student throughout many ways. One of the mainly we support the student they got is that we try to apply what is called digital transformation for most of our services. For example, we have a system that they can just raise their complaints, their, for example, suggestion, any other concern that we call it student online services. One of the main challenges as the Deanship of Student Affairs, we were worried about it, whether we can just keep in touch with our student in a close relationship as we used to have it in our physical atmosphere. But alhamdulillah, during those times, what happened, we tried to expose the student to all channels that they mostly were adopting. And alhamdulillah, we saw their high engagement with us. And so the things that were not affected in terms of the close relationship with them.
It's a challenge and it's an opportunity for us in the higher education sector to have some classes online in the future as well.
At first, students were a bit terrified, but the university helped a lot. It helped the students through the student fund for the students that are in need for financial help. It helped the students to deliver the books to their houses and not the students coming to the university. It helped the students engage more by the e-learning.
One of the main aspects is even financial support. We try to offer a student with the financial support if they are in need for that. And usually during, for example, those times they were enabled to do it online as well.
Actually, we created an online platform for the students to choose from an option to get their core books of the subjects delivered either by home, through a courier, or we provided as well a drive-through pickup service. We also have the opportunity, of course, for the online resources through the library that I would like to highlight as well. Our library has a lot of databases which I think covers most of the student needs during their studies.
We miss you too much, and we are just waiting to be with us in campus as we was able to do before.
I would like to thank the university's president, Professor Ghassan Awad, and the management of the university, as well as my fellow student council members.
So as you can see, ASU is providing a plethora of resources to their students safely and in order to make sure that their students have no worries. This is Khalid Hidris reporting for Bahrain International.
In line with the World Food Day, Nasaim Al Bahrain hosted an environmental initiative to raise awareness about agriculture and help make Bahrain greener. More on this report by Mariam Al Bayati.
Nasaim Al Bahrain raised an environmental initiative that aims to create agricultural awareness, increase the agricultural area, and contribute to achieving food security. Throughout the initiative, Nasaim Al Bahrain offered agricultural and gardening consultancy and training services, as well as distributing complementary plant seeds in aim to keep Bahrain a greener place.
The initiative is issued to create the information of the citizens about agriculture and how to take care for agriculture and for their garden, and also encourage them to plant to make the greenery more effective in the country. And now for us, we are distributing all different of these seeds, the plant seeds for the people. There are some vegetable seeds, there are ornamental seeds, there are seasonal seeds. Also to, let's say, make a variation in their garden. Many people are coming asking for the seeds when they see the announce in the Instagram of Nasaim Al Bahrain. The trees or the seeds all are Bahraini product from our trees, Bahraini trees that which is being planted here.
It's all about making Bahrain more green, and I was very surprised with the youth volunteers that we have, which I encourage them all to join us. And it's all about making Bahrain green. So for the global warming, we are working for that. For making Bahrain, we are working for that.
When they come to us, we can explain to them how they plant their seeds. It's easy, like we are giving them an easy seeds to grow up, like in 5 days. Come and volunteer with us or with any society or charity society to change a little bit in this world, and especially with the global warming. We are trying to make Bahrain greener.
It's learning, it's meditation, it's nutrition, everything is in gardening. So I encourage everybody to get involved in gardening.
Mariam Al Bayati reporting for Bahrain International. Thank you for watching.
So that was it for tonight's episode. I hope you were inspired as much as we were. Don't forget to follow us on the social media accounts. And till next time, stay safe and blessed.